Good evening, everyone. So our text today will be Jonah chapter 3, verses 4 through 10. And if you have trouble finding Jonah, it is right after Obadiah. So I got you. So topic tonight is there's always a path to redemption until there isn't. And now in high school class, last semester we did evidences, or last quarter, we did evidences. And one of the arguments against there being a God is, why are there mass killings, specifically in the Bible? Why does God allow those? And one point that we brought up was that there's always a way out from those. And so that leads me to the story of Nineveh. And I'm sure most everyone knows this story, but as a refresher, God told Jonah to go to Nineveh and to proclaim that Nineveh was about to be destroyed. And eventually, Jonah complied. But Jonah did not expect God's message to work. He expected the Ninevites to just brush it off their shoulder, continue living the way they were, and eventually be destroyed. However, he proclaimed it through the city, and in Jonah chapter 3, verse 4, Jonah began to go into the city, going a day's journey. And he called out, "Yet 40 days, and Nineveh shall be overthrown." Now, I was thinking about that, and I thought that is very similar thing that will happen to us as sinners. But keep reading, and their response is interesting. And the people of Nineveh believed God. They called for a fast and put on sackcloth, from the greatest of them to the least of them. The word reached the king of Nineveh, and he arose from his throne, removed his robe, covered himself with sackcloth, and sat in ashes. And he issued a proclamation and published through Nineveh, by the decree of the king and his nobles, let neither man nor beast, herd nor flock taste anything. Let them not feed or drink water, but let man and beast be covered with sackcloth, and let them call out mightily to God. Let everyone turn from his evil way and from the violence that is in his hands. Who knows, God may turn and relent and turn from his fierce anger, so that we may not perish. Now, the people and the king repented and changed their lives so that they might live. And through Jesus, a parallel is we can be baptized and start living differently. Now, in chapter 3, verse 10, here's God's reply. When God saw what they did, how they turned from their evil way, God relented of the disaster that he said he would do to them, and he did not do it. God relented. I don't know about you, but if I was one of the Ninevites, that would be some of the best words I've ever heard in my life. Now, they actually are. Now, John 3:16, I'm not going to turn there, but for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, so that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. So, if you haven't put Christ on in baptism, you are the Ninevite, lost in your evil ways and hearing the message of eternal damnation. But I happily share with you that the fact that Jesus died for you so that you can be freed from your sin and live eternally. Unfortunately, unlike Jonah, I don't know exactly when the destruction of the world is going to happen. So do it tonight as we stand and sing.